Hello everyone, it's realBluTV and welcome to another video. Now before we go any further into the patch notes and my thoughts on them, let's go ahead and smash that thumbs up button because a lot of you are smashing thumbs down for some god-awful reason. And I don't know why. Anyways, let's move into it. Let's talk about these patch notes because there's some good ones and of course there might be some bad ones. So let's get my thoughts on this next update.
Perfect.
All right, so let's skip all the battle pass stuff because we don't care. Ranked, the rewards, like we need something more, man. All right, like achieving rogue just to get an epic banner. I'm not changing the banner I have. So is this better? Unless this is a picture of me, I ain't using it. So we need something else for getting rogue ranked. Because you're getting a freaking epic banner also for just playing 30 games as well. So I can load into 30 games, throw the games on purpose, still get the banner, right? Don't care about the other one. All right, let's talk about the game updates. Glacier. Glacier is receiving an update to help speed up rotations and minimize the vertical stacking of major combat spaces. Basically, they're like, hey, this map sucks. We know that. Let's make some changes. So what they did was they got rid of that bottom room where the stairs are. They closed it off, and now I guess there's just going to be new pathways that are added to get through from one side of the ship to the other side without having to go through the top and go all the way around. And before, the only way to do that through the middle was to go underneath in the stairs. They've gotten rid of that, so it'll be interesting to see if there's still 4 entry points in the middle, because that's how many there were when the stairs in the bottom room were there. You had a staircase on each side, and then you had those little drop-in holes with those tunnels as well. All right, so the next thing is the draft pick improvements. This is very important because this is what I said before as well. They need to change it so that the draft actually means something, and it's not just 2-2-2-2, because at that point you're not playing a strategy game, more so as you're playing the we pick first, we win this draft, so let's pick the 2 best rogues, right? Now it's going to be team 1 bans a rogue, team 2 bans a rogue, right? So that part is still normal, but the next part is going to be team A picks 1 rogue, and then team 2 picks 2 rogues, and then team 1 picks 2 rogues, and then team 2 picks 2 rogues, and then team 1 picks their last rogue. So first pick team is going to get first pick and last pick, which is counter pick, and the other team is going to be able to double pick before the other team has their full roster. Do I still agree with that counter pick being on the same side as the team as the first pick? No. But it's very hard to balance out a draft system like this when there's only 4 players on each side. For games like League of Legends and Smite and Paladins, there's 5 on each side. So it's a lot simpler to do it that way. So we'll see how this draft system works, and then we'll build off of that in the future as well, most likely. The one thing that I don't like about the draft, and probably still isn't going to be changed, is the fact that we can't trade. So in League and Paladins and Smite and all other games that have draft phases like this, you're able to only pick in order of the players in the list. So whoever has the most elo in your team during your rank game is going to be that number 1 pick. Usually it's the highest ranked person. Sometimes it's not, depending on their MMR and their elo. That's a totally different story. If you don't know what that is, look it up for me. Anyways, they're going to be the ones controlling the bans and getting that first pick. The problem is that maybe they don't play something that you need to prioritize. For instance, you want to grab Dahlia first, but they don't play Dahlia, or they're not going to be the Dahlia player. At the end of all the picks, there's about 45 seconds to where you guys can trade. So that first person can then trade with the 4th pick person on their team, because that's the rogues they want to play. They just pick them in a different priority matter. But that isn't in the game. Now, the thing is that you don't necessarily need it in a competitive manner because your team is all communicating. And if, the Dahlia player needs to lock in Dahlia first, then that can happen. But in ranked, that doesn't happen. I've got people insta-locking freaking cannon in my demo games as soon as the option to pick is available to my team. So we need a trade phase. Anyways, let's move on. Weapon mastery. They're bringing pistols and melees into this. I said a long time ago as well, this is probably going to happen. Again, usually they try and fix something. If they can't fix it, they change it. And if they can't change it, or if they change it and it doesn't work out, then they completely get rid of it. So I don't think they're going to get rid of pistols and melees, but they've tried to change it a few times. Now they're moving them around. Some other rogues have been refitted with different melees depending on which ones kind of fit their vibes. That makes sense to me, which is cool, whatever. But now melees are actually going to be useful. Back then, I used to say, hey, these melees are a waste of money during the demo games, especially because you can spend that money. They're too much money for not being able to one-shot. You can spend that money on other things. Now, with mastered melees, you're able to swap the melees with any character. So if you have a character that has a really good or a really bad melee, you can give them a better melee, like the Claymore or something. Moving on to the balance changes, we have Scorch. She's getting a nerf. This makes sense. And it's something that I've been talking about for a while, that Scorch was a very difficult character to balance before weapon mastery, because her gun is bad, but her ability is good, right? So is the gun good because of her ability, or is the gun good? Like, it was very hard to balance these things. But now that we have weapon mastery and we can see how strong her ability really is, and the amount of times you're able to use it in a demolition round with an LMPX or an arbitrator, for example, then you start to say, okay, now we can start to balance Scorch. So that made sense to me. 45 to 60 seconds. Honestly, I think our ult should be like 75 seconds. I think you should only be able to use Scorch ult once or twice during a demolition round, because it's a very strong ult and you have to have that high risk, high reward. The high risk is don't waste the ult. The high reward is you're probably going to melt someone with this ability once it's available, right? So high risk, high reward. Don't waste your opportunity. That's what I think when it comes to Scorch's ability, overheat. So I think it should be 75 seconds, but we'll see how 60 seconds works out. This is a base melee. Lancer is getting pop smokes. This makes sense. It makes sense and it doesn't make sense, because the way it makes sense is because if you drop in on like favelas and you're going through soccer field, or you're going through the middle of the map, you can kind of smoke off that center portion, but the high ground with the pop smoke, instead of trying to throw the smoke on the high ground and possibly not shutting off that entire LOS that you need to shut off, right? The part where it doesn't make sense is that Lancers don't buy smokes in my casuals and ranked games, so it doesn't really matter, right? Like, the Lancer's still not going to buy smoke. She's going to buy Semtex, she's going to buy Life Drain, she's just going to try and flank every single round. That's what random Lancers do. So that part doesn't matter. Anvil. Okay, so this is actually a change as well. So when you think of Vi or you think of Trench, the barbed wire and the poisons, you have two of them stacked up at any given time, right? So you can throw one poison and still have another ready to go instantly. You can throw one barb and still have another one to go instantly. If you throw one of those and you don't throw the other one, you start to charge the one you threw back as well, simultaneously as still having one available. With Anvil, I feel like that should have been a thing, and I think it'll make him a little bit better. It's not going to move him up into the meta for sure, but it could bring some opportunities to some Anvil players out there, which they didn't have before, because once you use that shield now, you don't have it again until it recharges. The problem is that Shredder rounds is so good, Incense are very meta, and the shield literally does not have as much HP as it should anymore, because of Shredder rounds being so prevalent. So with Anvil's kit being kind of lackluster ability wise, making this change I think really improves him, but it's not going to make him super meta. I'm just glad that Anvil's getting a slight buff, and maybe see where he is after this, both in casual and the ranked experience for Demolition and Strikeout and King of the Hill and so forth, and then we'll see. And then they'll probably see what else needs to happen to Anvil, if anything needs to happen to him. Dahlia, the cooldown for reviving your linked target was recharging too fast and should now be recharging at the proper rate of 60 seconds. So this was bugged the entire time, and people didn't believe me. Actually, I think someone tried to tell Rome, and Rome didn't even believe them, and they were like a comp player. So for this bug to actually be true and to be fixed finally. So this makes more sense, and I'm glad that it is fixed. Gadgets. This is a huge change, right? So you can no longer use the gadget AoE. So like the circle, when you hold a gadget and you see where you're going to throw it, you can no longer use that to see outlines of players inside of smoke grenades. This is massive. Now, I'm going to say something, and people aren't going to like me because I'm defending high-res on this. When it was in the game a year ago, and people were complaining about this, most notably the comp scene, and they said, can you fix this? Can you get rid of it? I understand your frustrations. Yes, it shouldn't be in the game. Yes, it's aggravating. Yes, it's kind of cheap. It's a cheap move to use it. But if you are a game developer and you cannot figure out how to fix something, imagine just getting people fucking wrecking you over and over and over again. Like, fix it, blah, 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 and you're like, you spend 8 hours a day at work trying to fix something and you just don't know how to fix that exploit. They finally were able to fix it though, so that's great for them. Apparently it's it's an unintended exploit brought by the complexities of the visual effects within the Unreal Engine itself. So I'm glad they were able to get rid of this, and you're no longer able to use Gadget AoE Targeter to see players' outlines through smoke. This is great. This is awesome. Smokes just got a lot better, right? So I better see some Lancers behind smokes out there. Let's talk about Gadgeteer. This is actually a nerf to it. 10, 20, 30% cooldown reduction. And then the cost is increased from 6,000, 9,000, and 12,000. This is huge. This is needed, I think, because there's a lot of ultimates out there with a lot of characters that are able to just go over and over and over again in demolition, it seems like, because of that. I personally think that once you use your ultimate, it shouldn't refresh automatically the next round. I think it should be like Overwatch, where you're kind of like holding that, or not like Overwatch, but like Valorant, where you have to use it wisely, and then that would make Gadgeteer, or not Gadgeteer, that would make the other perk, I forgot the name of it, where you get your ability back faster. That would make that a lot better and a lot more useful. And then for Gadgeteer, it would make it a lot more useful too, because you don't have your ultimate to depend on all the time, so you have to use your util as much as possible. For weapons, they're finally adding flinch to snipers. This is if you are aimed into your scope and you get shot, you kind of flinch, so you might miss a headshot or whatever. This is something else that I said needed to be in the game a long time ago. Finally, it's being added into the game, so that's great for the snipers as well. Any nerf is granted. And you don't always need to nerf the guns. Again, this is two different weapons, so to nerf them both, this is great. All right, so let's take a look at the last thing. A lot of people wanted to know my thoughts. I even got like a bunch of mentions on Twitter, and people were screenshotting this. Game modes, King of the Hill. So King of the Hill has been changed back to multiple rounds. Number one, this doesn't matter. It's not in comp anymore. Who cares? Because everyone complains that it's not in comp. And it's not in comp because apparently everyone loves Strikeout, but we don't have Strikeout in comp either. It's no longer in ranked because I don't know why. So they added King of the Hill into ranked for one split, but they added it into a mixture of the same queue with demolition, and they were like, oh, we told you guys you didn't want King of the Hill ranked, but then they're like, but do you want Strikeout ranked? But we'll make it a separate queue. Like, why couldn't King of the Hill get a separate queue? You're kind of helping the Strikeout players get what they want, but you won't give me a separate King of the Hill queue? Like, what? Also, it doesn't matter because it's not in the game. That's another reason why this change doesn't matter. And also, again, they probably couldn't figure out how to make the scoreboard the proper way for a single round cough. They probably couldn't figure out how to fix the hill placements, which even though I did on Favelas already in a video before, link in the description if you haven't seen that one. So it really doesn't matter. I would love to see King of the Hill back in Rogue Company as a permanent game mode too. I mean, we have 6v6 team deathmatch. Bring me 6v6 King of the Hill, and I will legitimately grind the game again through the battle pass, and then even afterwards. After getting Rogue, after getting battle pass, after beating the event, and after doing all the challenges, there's nothing to do. And I know that sounds like that's a lot to do, but it's not, because there's only like the event takes like 2 days unless they force me to wait days. Like they did with the last trench event. There's only 4 weeks of challenges, and then the battle pass is literally takes me like a week, right? Apex Battle Pass takes me pretty much the whole season. The Rogue Company Battle Pass takes me about 7 days. So I can get everything done in 7 days, including Rogue rank. So other than that, that's my thoughts on the patch notes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Again, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. We've been making huge strides. We reached 1,000 subscribers recently. We're trying to reach more. I'm getting a membership join button if you want to support the channel even further. Also, stop by the live streams if you can. All the LAN videos are on the YouTube channel as well, so make sure you smash the like button on those and watch those if you want to relive your own moments as a player, or if you missed the LAN, or if you have no idea about Roco Esports, make sure you check those out. And lastly, most importantly, we're doing a great job. About 90% of you watching my videos were unsubscribed, and now you are only at 67%. So, subscribe to me, or you're going to stub your toe tomorrow.
Oh, hello there. It's Blue. I'm a terrible dancer, so ignore that version of me on the screen and listen to my voice when I say thank you for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and of course, click on another video of mine. I heard you'll like those over there. They're pretty good.